Right, hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're in this 2005 Seat Ibiza. This is the 1.4 petrol. Problem with this car is that it's got an intermittent fault where the EPC light comes on sometimes, and when that happens it's accompanied by the idle speed going high and a rough idle, and it's also then in some kind of limp mode. Rest of the time it drives fine, like at the moment, you know, that's not on, then it's fine. But I'll hopefully try to capture it when it's doing the problem, and then splice that bit of video in here for you. So this is what it's like when that EPC light comes on. At the moment I don't have my foot on the accelerator, so it's revving a bit high like that. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on camera, but you know, the engine sounds like it's missing. I'll try revving up a little bit. Actually it revs smooth, but when it's idling it sounds like it's missing, and when you're driving it won't accelerate very much. It's in some kind of limp mode. So just as the first step in the diagnostic process, I got this cheap code reader plugged in. By the way, I've done a video on this and a couple of other of the cheap code readers I've got, so I'll put a link in the description, if you're interested, have a look at that. But anyway, I got it plugged into the car's diagnostic port, which is there. Interestingly, it didn't connect initially when the engine was off with just the ignition on, so now I've got the engine running and it has connected, and this showed me two codes. So we've got a P2279 and a P0106. I don't know what those are off the top of my head, so I'm going to go and look those up on the computer, and I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Right, so problem is fixed. So I'm just going to talk you through what I did to fix it. So looked up the codes on the computer, and the first one was a map sensor circuit range code. So I believe what that means is the signal that the computer is seeing from the map sensor is not in the range that it's expecting to see. And then the second one, this P2279, is indicating air intake system leak. So I know from previous experience that map sensor codes can often get set by other problems, and particularly with this other problem being what it is, I had a very strong hunch straight away that probably there's unlikely to be anything wrong with the map sensor or the wiring to the map sensor or anything like that. My strong hunch was this was going to be sort of where the problem lay. So initially my next step was to chase this, see if I could find this. So with the engine idling, I carefully looked and listened around the engine bay. And by listening, what I mean is I was obviously listening for like a hissing noise, because often with air intake leaks, you can hear that the hissing, like a hissing noise as the air kind of leaks into the intake system. So pretty much straight away, I did hear a hissing noise coming from the back of the engine, in pretty much sort of like just underneath the air intake box, between that and the bulkhead basically. So I had a closer look in that area, and then what I found was this this brake booster hose assembly thing. This is the end where it connects onto the brake booster, and straight away I noticed this crack where the pipe fits over the this fitting here. I noticed this crack basically. Then I looked along it and I noticed the same here and the same there as well. So what I then did was I took off the intake box to improve access. And by the way, to do that, there is another air pipe just to the right of that intake box, so you do need to take that off first. And then after that, it just pulls off. It's just held on by 4 rubber grommets. So yeah, took off the air intake box, and then you get reasonably good access to this, and sort of like, yeah, did this like temporary repair using electrical tape here, and I had also done it here as well. I've just sort of taken that back off now to show you the the crack. So I did that, and then I drove the car around for quite a few trips, you know, like, you know, varying lengths, various lengths of trips, you know, like short trips, long trips. Drove around three or four times. Problem never came back. So based on that, I was happy enough to go ahead and order the replacement, which I did from the Seat main dealer. It was £37, by the way, all in. Fitted it on, and since then I've actually driven the car a few more times, and the problem definitely isn't coming back. So, you know, I'm happy to say that definitely has fixed it. So I'll just let you know how I took this off and fitted it back on, because it was a bit tricky. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. This is just how I did it. But so what I did was I took this bit of pipe off completely, and then sort of I was initially left with this bit fitted to the brake booster and this bit fitted to the intake manifold. So I managed to get this bit off by using a combination of just kind of like twisting it like that backwards and forwards, whilst at the same time kind of pushing on it that way, or pulling on it, you could say, basically away from the intake manifold. So I kept doing that, and it did take a while, but eventually it came off. On this side, no matter how much I kind of did the twisting and pulling thing, this bit just would not come off the brake booster. So in the end, what I did was I actually used a screwdriver, like a long screwdriver, to lever this away, by levering the tip of the screwdriver against the brake booster, and then it did come off. But just to let you know, there's obviously like risk of damaging the brake booster by doing that. So what I did was I used a piece of like thick piece of plastic. So I put that in between the tip of the screwdriver and the brake booster. So I was kind of not levering directly against the brake booster, if you see what I mean. So, you know, I was a little bit careful not to damage the brake booster. So anyway, it came off quite easily doing it that way. And then to make the fitting a little bit easier, what I did do is I used a little bit of silicone spray, not too much, just a little bit on this fitting and on the corresponding fitting on the manifold that goes into there, and that just made the fitting a little bit more easy. And that's it really. And yeah, like I said, that's fixed the problem. So as always, I hope that video is interesting for you guys, and you know, possibly helpful if you got a similar problem yourself. As always, if the video did help you, I'd just like to say really appreciate it if you could you know, support the channel by clicking that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and I will hopefully catch you guys on another video soon. Thank you for watching.